The term minority often implies being fewer in number. Yet, in U.S. sociological and legal contexts, it encompasses more issues of power, privilege, and historical discrimination. While all women face gender-based challenges, only white women are afforded special treatment under U.S. affirmative action policies, despite affirmative action being a byproduct of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which was fought for by African Americans. Affirmative action was originally established to address racial inequalities, not gender disparities. Historical analysis proves that the redirection of affirmative action away from African Americans during the Civil Rights era by President Lyndon Baines Johnson was strategic. This malevolent redirection purposefully extended benefits to white women. Women who received the privileges of the white majority, and many of whom were and continue to be, against African American human and civil rights. The inclusion of white women purposefully diluted the impact of affirmative action on African Americans. Instead, it redirected opportunities meant for African Americans and funneled them back to the white majority. Numerous statistics and records show that white women and their families have been the largest beneficiaries of affirmative action and have been since the 60 years since the implementation of affirmative action. In contrast, of all races and ethnicities in the U.S., black people have consistently received the least in affirmative action opportunities. In fact, African Americans fare substantially worse in all affirmative action sectors. Why does this matter? This issue is of critical importance for several reasons. Firstly, African Americans are often purposefully portrayed as the primary beneficiaries of affirmative action, despite evidence to the contrary. This misrepresentation serves as a scapegoat mechanism, overshadowing the fact that the largest share of benefits has historically gone to white women. Secondly, the civil rights movement, which was fought by our African American ancestors, was aimed at dismantling systemic racial barriers for our people. The subsequent manipulation of affirmative action's implementation not only undermined our progress and wealth as people but also desecrated the civil rights movement and our ancestors' memories. If you are enjoying this video, please share and subscribe. Let's continue. The ongoing diversion of affirmative action from the African American community to white women is of paramount importance because it represents a significant misappropriation of justice, further emphasizing the urgency for reparations. This redirection of resources, a decision that appears to be strategically orchestrated by the U.S. government, functions as a mechanism to perpetuate the subjugation of African Americans within a framework of white supremacy. Addressing this issue is critical due to its implications in rerouting wealth and opportunities away from African Americans. These resources, initially intended to mitigate the effects of systemic racism and historical economic disenfranchisement faced by our community, are instead being funneled to white women, thereby indirectly benefiting the wider white population. Another significant reason for its importance lies in the fact that white women do not fit the definition of minorities in various respects. Numerically, women outnumber men in the U.S., so they cannot be considered a numerical minority. Moreover, when it comes to racial or ethnic identity, white women are part of the white majority and have historically enjoyed and continue to benefit from the privileges associated with this majority status. Regarding gender oppression, white women do not experience gender oppression to a greater extent than women of other racial backgrounds. Affirmative action policies do not specifically categorize non-white women for separate benefits. Consequently, white women possess a unique advantage within the affirmative action program. It's important to recognize that this special advantage is not only unjust but also grants white women access to special treatment, resources, opportunities, and wealth that exceed those available to women of other races. This perpetuates white supremacy, contradicting the goals of the civil rights movement, which aim to dismantle such systems of privilege and inequality. A significant movement is gaining momentum in the United States, focusing on a critical issue: African Americans are committed to casting their votes exclusively for the Democratic candidate nominated for the U.S. presidential election who pledges to sign an executive order for reparations within the first week of taking office, preferably no later than the week of January 6, 2025. Should the nominated Democratic candidate fail to commit to reparations, African Americans are prepared to collectively abstain from voting in the 2024 presidential elections, for those who choose to participate. It is imperative to emphasize that African Americans will not support any candidate who refuses to endorse an executive order for reparations by January 2025. If the demand for reparations is ignored or if Congress rescinds the Democratic executive order for reparations, African Americans will initiate further mass boycotts targeting corporations and the U.S. military. To comprehend the underlying reasons behind this movement, we strongly recommend watching a video entitled, Reparations: Should African Americans Boycott the 2024 Elections in Return for Their Vote? This video provides an accurate depiction of African American history, tracing it from the post-slavery era to the present day. It vividly illustrates how both Republicans and Democrats have repeatedly collaborated to make promises to African Americans during election campaigns, only to renege on those promises once they secured the African American vote. In response to this systemic exploitation and the rise of normalized white supremacy, African Americans are embarking on this movement. If you enjoyed watching this video, please share and subscribe for more videos about the African American reparations movement and African diaspora geopolitics, politics, news, history, and religion.